Many. All right, welcome everybody.
Welcome.
New episode, podcast idea. Just me and David again. We're just casual, you know.
Yep.
We talking about some topics, some news, and passing a small football, right? Uh, just keep in mind that this episode, because it's only us two, David, like every 10 minutes, he's gonna be going up to the camera just to turn it on and off, but it's no big deal, right? Cool. So I actually wanted to talk about co-working spaces first, because I found this place here in town. It's called Foo Cafe, and it's like a free co-working space. Like they have a free co-working space on the top level, and I thought it was really interesting because I had thought of that idea before, like a space purely or like that incentivized cooperation and working together, not just like a library or a cafe, but somewhere that you actually had that and you had other activities because like they have like a ping pong table and stuff. So, talked enough. David, what do you think of that? Like, do you think that's should we even care about a space like that, or is it useful?
Co-working spaces, I think they were really cool. They pretty much, I think it's really cool to have because, for example, we can go there and work. Of
course.
and it's basically an environment made for working.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which or I at least become more creative. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
depends which environment, but mostly environments that are meant for like co-working.
Sure.
I think that's really cool because you do get more creative and get more work done, in my opinion.
Well, but why do you think so? Like, why
It's
would we get
because the
more creative?
environment plays a big role in
Okay.
how I work.
All right. And how is that? I know we've talked about this before, but in a co-working space, what does that environment bring that some other environment, like this place, I don't know, or
Mhm.
like home, doesn't?
I mean, distractions. There is no distractions. Okay, there might be depending on which environment,
Sure.
but usually there are less distractions. For example, at home, I have all my stuff like my bed and my, piano and stuff, and my
Okay.
computer in front of me with all my games and stuff.
Mm.
So it's very easy to just, zone out and just find yourself at the piano and just playing around, or whatever.
Yeah, because you don't want to do that thing. as well.
Exactly. So, but co-working spaces usually encourage me to work because there's more silence.
That
Or maybe not silence,
in that case, it's actually
but
not
it's
very silent. There's a
okay.
lot of
Yeah,
music,
that's
but
a good point. That's a good point. Although I usually put on headphones and stuff,
yeah,
and it becomes
exactly.
silent. But there are a lot of things happening, and I don't think,
Mhm.
I think it, in my opinion, it's a cool feeling to sit on your own and just work and just see in the background that things are just like
Happening,
happening.
right?
Exactly. I think that's a good feeling. Can you relate?
Yeah, I feel like I can really relate to the movement type of. Oh shit, sorry. The movement aspect, because for me, I feel like it's not really about the distractions at home. It's just that there's so little happening around me. It feels like it's a bit boring. And if I need something to think or like somewhere to look to think, I would rather have something going on so I can maybe brainstorm something. Just like like when you look beyond and you're just thinking, you're not actually looking at that thing. But if it's, I don't know, it's a weird feeling because if it's like moving, it's better. I can't really tell you why, but one thing I also like about that space is that they have activities like they have chess, they have other stuff like even like board games. I saw people playing Jenga there,
Okay.
uh, like in a big group, but they have like a ping pong table and like other stuff that's not meant to be like the main attraction of the place. But I feel like because they have that, it actually helps you if you're stuck, for example. If you're
Mhm.
stuck in something and you just want to uh, like reduce the mental distress, right?
Mhm.
You don't want to be so engaged in something that when you get stuck, you can't move on,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
when you take a break like that, I feel like it really helps. And sometimes you can't in some spaces, for example.
Mm. Yeah, sometimes when something doesn't work out or just, you can't think or whatever, it it really helps out if you take a break, just stop what you're doing and just take a break and then come back like
Yep.
30 minutes later or 15 minutes later or something.
Because I thought of that idea before, like similarly. I wanted a space that really it was like it had an incentive for people to meet and to work, but even more than that, not normal people, but like people that like strangers,
Mhm.
especially. They didn't go that far, but I feel like there are some spaces even here in town that have that, but most of them have like a membership or something
Mhm.
that you have to be a part of it because it's more for like office space. You don't want to rent a place because you don't have that much money, but you have enough money for a membership for your company, right? But I feel like if you have a free co-working space, you can work together and even like meet people there. I feel like if you can even take that idea and make it even better by introducing this is just like a hypothesis, right?
Mhm.
Introducing other activities that would have to include people you don't know, right? So I don't know, some sort of game that you need a lot of people to play, and then you meet people. Same thing with like the ping pong and stuff, but like something that forces not forces, of course. I don't want to force anybody to
Mhm.
meet anybody they don't want to,
But it promotes.
but it promotes exactly. I feel like a space that does that is the best for cooperation.
I agree. I agree.
Do you think that would it still be the same if you're alone? Would it still be better for you to meet other people in the same space and to cooperate, even though you're working on your own? Or do you think if you're alone and you have to do this thing alone, it's you rather just be alone? I don't know.
Wait, do you mean like alone at the whole place or like
No, I
working
mean like
alone
for example,
on a project or something?
yeah, if you're alone on like you're working on something that's
Mhm.
only yours, right? You're not in a group.
Mhm.
Whatever.
All right. I mean, then I think it depends on what kind of person you're. Some people, they like to start conversations with random people and, they're very outgoing and,
Sure.
you know, take the chance if they see it.
Hmm.
But a lot of people are like introverted and stuff and don't like to talk to strangers. So I think it depends. But if you're with someone, then it's easier because you're already talking.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
just invite someone to the conversation or join or something. I think it's easier personally.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't I don't have an answer to that question that I asked you actually because I don't know. I don't know if it's better because it depends from person to person and it depends on the scenario, but for me, for example, if I because most of the stuff that I do is predicated on knowing people to broaden that network, whatever it is, like this podcast, for example, or be it the Ace of Hearts or whatever. I need people to look at my stuff, right? And most of the stuff nowadays with social media and everything is like that. You need people to look, right? You need
Mm-hmm.
attention in the end. And the more people you know, the better in this case. I would say.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you have a space that is predicated on improving that, then it's even better.
Mm-hmm. But it's co-working spaces, for example, like Foo Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more? So does it promote? Is it
I
co-working? Is
wouldn't
it a
say.
co-working space or does it promote like networking?
I wouldn't say it promotes networking per se, right? It does more than like a normal cafe, for sure. But my dream, whatever it is, like quote dream, would be to have a space that would promote networking, not only co-working but networking, like meeting new people and like kind of being a member, but like for free. So like being a regular, for example, at that place. I don't know. It's hard to say. I wrote this down in my like that notebook that I told you about. I told them about, and it was just an idea I had. And in the future, maybe I can figure out a way to do this, but I don't know yet how I would actually make those activities and stuff. Of course, I need to find the space and the way to monetize it as well, because I don't feel like making a cafe, right? Because then, even though you go there and you know it's free, you still feel bad for not buying anything. You know, it's a good strategy if you want to just buy it, but I feel like if they some way you could monetize it online by, I don't know, giving some sort of credit to the for bringing people together. I don't know how that would work though.
I mean, if you're already there, I mean, it's pretty smart. Even if for free, still like since there's a bar or like a cafe or whatever, since you're already there, why not buy something?
Wait, can you just do the thing? Sorry about that. No, David. For those who are listening, he's just gonna turn on and off the camera. Okay. Yeah. So if you're already there, you were saying.
Yeah. So I was saying that pretty much if you're already there at like a cafe that sells stuff and you're there for free, and you want to drink something, then why not buy it from the cafe?
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. So I'm not saying it's a bad idea. Yeah. I would see. I take it with a grain of salt because I'm not sure about this, right? But I would rather have a place that's just a co-working space that has a cafe than being a cafe that has a co-working space, right? But at the same time, it doesn't promote the cafe business. So I don't know how to actually do that. You would have to find another way of actually reaching monetization, I guess. But then again, at the same time, then you could have another objective with it, right? To keep the cafe just as a way to pay the bills, and that or that being a source of, because it's so good for meeting people. By meeting people, you do end up making projects, and like in the long run, you do make a profit or whatever, or it is worth it. It's just the same as like personal branding, It's more for the macro, right? You don't think, hey, I'm gonna make a social media account to monetize it right away, right? You could, sure, it's hard, but it's much better if you build that together with like a podcast, with something else, and that builds a personal brand, then that allows you to make other brands, and then that and the huge scope of it will get you where you want to get. But this is under the assumption that all you want to do is make money, right? Which is at least from my point of view, shouldn't be the main goal. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what mission they have,
Exactly. Because for me, I really enjoy meeting people, right? I would maybe a space that could just like keep itself going, but not to make a profit, at least not from the space. That could be something. I don't know. Do you think they should make a profit, or it should seek that, or I mean, is it just part of it?
Not I don't know. Necessarily. It could be a part of it, depending on, as I mentioned before, the mission that you have. So what do you want to achieve? You know, is it a business? Do you want to make profit, or is it like a non-profit? You know, so you just want to break even
Yeah.
and just meet new people. You know, whatever.
Yeah, because in the end, you are gonna make a profit, be it for money or not, right?
Hmm.
Okay, sure, profit is always for money, but what I mean is like make getting a reward,
Hmm.
be it for money or not, because you're gonna end up meeting those people. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that, but I would rather have a space where I can meet people than have some company that I don't like working with
Hmm.
uh, and making a profit. That's for sure. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I think networking, especially meeting new people, as you mentioned, I think that's the biggest reward,
Yeah.
actually. And that's actually why I'm doing this as well.
Hmm.
The podcast, I get to meet new people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's
me too.
great.
All right, nice. Okay, so I want to do something now, segue into this. And this is something that I've been thinking about since we started, or even before.
Hmm.
And this was, well, I guess I did a little bit of that now at the beginning, but this is idea pitching, right? I wanted to get a section of the podcast so we would come up with ideas
Hmm.
and we would pitch the idea and we would talk about it, limitations, strengths, and how we can improve that idea and how valid that is, right? So I'll pass the ball to you, David.
Wow.
Wow, yeah.
Wow.
I told you I'll say that.
I thought you were joking around.
All right, I'll pass the ball to you and please tell me your idea.
All right.
Treat me as an investor to your company.
Okay. Let me actually bring my idea.
Okay, because just for full transparency, what happened?
For the cable thing.
The cable? Yeah, there. He was looking for a cable thing. Yeah. Come on, it's not your idea. Okay.
I stole it.
Yeah, I asked David
I
in the
actually
beginning.
partially stole it. I was actually thinking about like something similar, but I've never actually. This was like
Okay, describe to the audience what you're
so
actually talking about.
what I'm
'Cause you-
holding in my hand is a small handheld gadget, I guess you could call it,
Sure.
which you can first of all open.
That I have.
That Nick has. Nice stole. Wait, how do you open it?
You don't even know how to open it.
Wait,
Don't break it. Wait, let me open it.
All right.
Open.
Yeah, like that. Boom.
Okay.
And then you can open it, and then first of all you can flip this out, and then it serves as a stand, right? Phone
Okay.
stand. And then in the middle, if you open it up, you see that there's like a cable, and there are like multiple attachments which you can, or like heads to the cable.
And that's for like charging your phone.
Exactly. So the cable is it USB Type C?
Yeah.
So it's pretty much universal since you can add on these adapters
Mm-hmm.
onto the USB-C cable. There's also a SIM card removal tool, and I think slots for SIM cards, which
Yes.
you don't have in currently.
No.
And then there's some kind of USB. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's the.
Oh, to
that's
connect
also
it
for the
to-
cable. If
oh,
you
okay,
want
yeah.
the USB-C to become a USB
Okay.
3.
And then there's also a small flashlight.
Yeah, that you have to connect to the power source.
Exactly. So I actually found this pretty cool because I personally have a lot of cables.
Okay.
I have a carrying pouch, so it's like this, or it's like a pouch.
Like a small bag, like a.
Yeah, pretty much with like a zipper. You open it, and then there are multiple compartments for all these cables and like small,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much like this organization thing. And then that's where I store all my cables. But I always thought that it's pretty much the ends that are different, right? USB-C, micro, whatever, lightning. And it could be cool to have one cable and then just have multiple attachments. And since this product is handheld, it's fairly slim.
Keep
You
talking. Okay.
You can have it in your pocket, and you can carry it around. and you don't need to have multiple cables. So that's actually why this is so cool, and why I've actually thought of like a similar idea, since I
Uh-huh.
have so many cables, but this actually solves it. There's definitely room for improvement on this. There are multiple things that I thought about when holding it,
Sure.
but yeah, that's for
Okay.
future prototypes.
All right. Tell me the improvements, because it's not completely your own idea. Tell me how. Just to actually take a detour and just talk about this. I feel like it's even better than making a totally new idea. Is basing yourself in an idea that exists and making it better. Because well, I've read this in like so many places, but and I've talked about this as well. There is a higher chance that you can actually succeed in that business because it's been quote proven that it works, right? And then if you make it even better, then that's better, right?
Actually,
So how would you make it better?
so first of all, as I mentioned before, that I was actually thinking of something similar. It's actually not this type that I was thinking of. This is another option. This is for, carrying around every day, and a small thing you can have in your pocket. I was actually thinking about something you can have in your backpack, and maybe not one cable that has multiple, or actually possibly one cable that has multiple heads, but perhaps a longer cable, or like slots for other cables,
Mm-hmm.
and something that just makes it convenient and smaller. Something smaller that you can carry around with built-in compartments like this one. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's pretty much laid out for all these different tools and gadgets. So maybe, making it bigger, adding more stuff to it, and having it in your bag. But if we're talking about something like this, the ways you could improve this, which you can have in your pocket, is first of all adding metal hinges, since these are
Mm-hmm.
plastic, and I feel that if I, bend it too far, it's gonna
Sure.
break. And it feels kind of cheap, to be honest. It's like cheap
Mm-hmm.
plastic, And another thing I would change is this flap, which you can only open like 1/3 of the way.
Sure.
Reason being is that this is the back of the phone stand, so it actually holds the phone. But I would actually like to see like a button or something on the side which you can press to fully extend it.
But
Since
just
there is
for the listeners, just to so that makes sense. It's like a flip phone that doesn't open the whole way, and then inside there's a cable and multiple heads.
Mhm,
That's pretty much
exactly.
it.
And there's also a light in the middle, but the thing is that you can only open this 1/3 of the way, so it's kind of useless. The light,
Yeah.
there's, yeah, it's pretty much blocking this flap is blocking it.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things I would change on this.
That's also a wireless charger in the back, and I do have a complaint about it because it's only because it's a little bit small. It's only a specific spot that you can put your phone that so it works, right? So that's also something that I would probably improve on, and you can probably change the if you have a special hinge, you can make it open into different spots or
Oh yeah,
make
that
it
would be cool to extend the wireless charging pad, perhaps.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And also to if you could open it at different spots, like it locks at different spots,
Mhm.
it would be more beneficial. But for example, how would you like market this? Like, would you make this a hey, this is a fun accessory for your phone, or would it be more like this is a new whole new gadget?
I would say this is a whole new gadget. This is actually a game changer.
Okay.
This is it's really cool to have because it definitely helps you out, since you always need, a cable for charging your phone,
Mm.
charging your headphones, whatever. And it's really cool to see something this slim which you can carry around,
Mm-hmm.
and which actually serves multiple purposes. So I would say this is like a separate product, separate gadget, like a whole new product. Um, so yeah, something that is necessary that people don't yet have.
All right. By the way, just for clarity, we're gonna take a break in like 5 minutes, just so just because I checked the camera and the battery's almost over.
All right.
But then we'll keep going, and I'll probably present my idea. Then yeah, I think we'll take a break around now. Actually, it's better because then I'll keep my idea going once we get back.
All right.
But just to finish off with your idea, I think it's good. I think you could make a whole line of products that would have like different types of cables
Mhm.
inside. I don't know about
Different type of cables.
maybe, but
Because the thing is that this has universal tips, you know.
yeah, no, I get it.
So you
I get
only
it.
have one cable.
But maybe you have different sizes. For example, you have
Okay.
a bigger size that
Like
has
I mentioned
more.
before.
Yeah,
To carry in your bag and carry
Yeah.
in your pocket.
but maybe you have like different sizes of cables inside, or more gadgets that could help on
Mhm.
your phone, or something that's not for the phone at all, right? It's
Or maybe something
cables
with
for a camera, for example.
or with different layouts. Maybe one that fits like cameras, and
Yeah,
then
the camera's off.
and then perhaps another one that fits phones.
All right, cool. So we're gonna take a quick break now, and we'll come back shortly.
There you
Cool.
go.
Now I have the
Welcome
ball.
back.
Welcome back.
It's Nick's turn.
All right, because this is a very short episode, I'm just gonna be telling you guys my idea, and it's probably gonna be pretty shit, but we'll improve on it.
You just roasted yourself, Nick.
I know.
You just said your idea is shit.
No. I mean, I don't know. I had this idea randomly, but
Okay, imagine it's Shark Tank right now. Okay.
all right, exactly. Look, you'd have
You have like
lost
2
already.
minutes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll see
Okay.
about
My
that.
my idea. You're not gonna. If you're listening to this, you're not gonna be able to see that I'm drawing something, but I am drawing something, and it's not gonna look like the thing that I want it to look like. Okay, whatever. I'm not even gonna draw it anymore. Okay. Okay, I did draw it. Sure. And it says what I was drinking. It says cold brew, and it's a cold brew.
Oh, it's probably like a cold brew cafe or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
tell me
idea
about it.
the idea that I had was actually a cold brew bar. All right.
Okay.
That's my idea. Cold brew bar. What does that mean? What do I mean by that? I mean a place that literally. I mean, it could serve other stuff, but the main thing is cold brew,
Mm-hmm.
and we would make um, kind of like mock cocktails or virgin cocktails, whatever you want to call them, but all out of cold brew. So, like, you know how you can combine cold brew with like milk and other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you would do that, and you make like drinks, not like regular cocktails, but then at night we could have like regular cocktails with cold brew as well. Cause why not? Because I thought that because cold brew is this such a big thing now, I think it's there is enough space to make a place purely or like.
Is it
Based
such
on
a big
culture.
thing?
I mean,
I mean, the only time I've seen someone drinking is at your place here.
okay, sure.
I mean, I don't know. I don't like coffee,
It's
so
for sure
my
a much bigger thing
opinion
than it
might
was
be
before.
invalid. But okay, But I
It
don't
is
drink
much
coffee,
bigger
so-
than it was before. But there isn't much variety. Like I've seen vanilla cold brew,
Mhm.
and I've seen like cold brew with milk and other stuff, but never like much more than that. However, when I was traveling, it was like it was a Starbucks.
Mhm.
It was a special Starbucks, and they had special cold brews that were like that had these foams because these were like nitro cold brews, right?
Okay.
So this is cold brew infused with nitrogen. So you have like that foam on top. This is like the best
Yeah,
of cold brew.
you showed me.
Yeah, I did, right? So they made a foam with that was like infused with other stuff. Like there was one that was like caramel and like other flavors and stuff that were mixed, and then they put marshmallows in it. Whatever it is. I feel like there is space to do that. Just like for example an espresso bar,
Mhm.
right? That's a thing.
Mhm.
There are espresso bars. I don't know if it's such a big thing that you can make just a store out of it.
Yeah. Do you
What do
think?
you think?
I mean, I
Of
don't
course, you
know.
don't like
Since
coffee,
yeah,
but
since I don't like coffee, but if it's actually a like popular thing with cold brew, do you think you could take these tastes like or like these different flavors and implement them into like cold brew and be the first person to like test out like new flavors? Because sometimes, people put like crazy stuff into cold brew or like
mm,
into whatever, and then which attracts a lot of customers. It's like,
yeah.
hey, why would you ever put like, whatever into cold brew? It's like
Uh-huh.
we have it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like you could be very different with that. It's a nice basis,
Hmm.
right? However, if you don't like cold brew in the beginning, then it doesn't really help. But at the same time, you can have such drinks that are so different that you can't taste the cold brew. Like just as like normal cocktails, where you have cocktails that are like for people that like, I don't know, the taste of alcohol, or it's like stronger or
Hmm.
whatever. And there are cocktails like, I don't know, a pina colada that you're not even meant to taste the rum,
Hmm.
right? I mean, it depends.
Okay, yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
it depends. But some drinks you can't even taste it. It's just like if you get an iced latte that has like a caramel iced latte, that you can't taste the the actual coffee in it anymore. So it's different. I don't know if that's enough, but I feel like that could be developed into a concept, or maybe even a type of concept that could be applied to other things,
Hmm.
right? So because it's like a bar, but it doesn't have to be alcoholic,
Hmm.
and it could be it could tie into that co-working space idea that I told you about. So it could be something that was
Hmm.
inside a co-working
I
space.
mean, coffee is a very social thing, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like just think of like cafes and
Hmm.
how like people meet in cafes and they work in cafes and all.
Hmm.
If you had like a place that was like that, just like a Starbucks espresso house that we have here, which is pretty much equivalent, that could be a thing. But I don't know the extent of just basing your store in one drink. But at the same time, it's hard to say without testing it,
Hmm.
because it's the same thing as with like other new ideas. But if we know that with other things, such as like espresso, for example,
Hmm.
that has worked before, then you can say that it's an improvement in that idea. But at the same time, cold brew is like experimenting with just cold brew could be different.
Hmm.
I don't know. Anything else to say?
I mean, I like your idea. As I said, or as I mentioned previously, I'm not a coffee drinker, so
Sure.
I don't know how popular it is, but if it's something that's popular,
Mm-hmm.
obviously you would need to research and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Um, but if we're thinking about the idea, could definitely work.
Mm-hmm.
Could definitely see it as, especially as a social thing.
Would you say it's scalable as well?
I Yes, definitely.
Like, would you say it would be more like a place that's like specific to like, for example, hey, I'm visiting this town and there's this special place, but it's only one place, or
Hmm.
would it be more like a Starbucks type of thing that's everywhere?
I mean, could be both. I
Could be
think it
both.
could be a chain or just the store here in Gothenburg, for
Yeah,
example.
because I feel like it's hard to say because it's not like coffee,
Hmm.
which is more like a broad thing. It's more of a type of coffee.
Hmm.
But then at the same time, you have many types of that type of coffee.
Hmm.
Then maybe, right? Maybe you can serve food with that, whatever it is. And then if you implement the co-working space idea, maybe you can run with that.
Hmm.
I don't know, but then it could be fun to because like I've been interested in making cocktails for a while. Like not that I've made many, but I've been interested in like just like watching videos of people
Hmm.
making cocktails. But I don't think it has to be that something that like you, for example, you drink just to get drunk
Hmm.
or anything like that. I think that it could be something just um, like the performance of the person making it is part of it
Hmm.
as well. But the combination of different tastes can also be, I don't know, interesting.
Yeah, I think it could work though.
Yeah, like,
It's a cool idea.
yeah, I don't know, like how. Oh, what's hard about that though? Like finding a place to settle down, maybe like rent.
I mean, okay, sure, but if
Sure.
we're thinking of like an
Like,
idea standpoint,
Yeah, I'm thinking of limitations with that
Mhm.
idea. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think because I've never run anything like that, or I've never done anything, so I would need to research and find out more stuff because I honestly can't tell.
Yeah, because I don't know. It's much of the same problems you would have with like a normal restaurant or a
Of
normal
course, of course.
cafe. But I don't know. Maybe just like the workspace idea, you could have other ways to monetize it, for
Of
example,
course.
or other, uh, or maybe many different stations. For example, let's say you have a co-working space that has many different cafes, quote cafes inside, right? Yeah. Um, and maybe you have like a cold brew spot, espresso spot, or like a pizza place. I don't know, but that's pretty much it for my idea.
Yeah,
You gotta run, right?
I
Because
do.
he has a bus to catch.
Go really late.
Yeah, this was just a short video, and tell us in the comments if you guys like this types of videos.
Or
Well,
send us a DM what you think about our ideas.
Exactly, exactly, and we can always expand on those ideas. And if you guys give us more ideas on those ideas, we can talk about them again in
Yep.
the podcast. We'll try to make it a cyclical thing where we come back to idea pitching because I feel like it's a nice exercise.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for today, guys.
Thanks.
And I'll see you next
We'll
time.
catch you next time.